Welcome back. In the last video, we learned about these different parts of the Excel spreadsheet. We had columns, rows, and cells that we were naming by the column and the row that the cell was located in. Now, I mentioned in the last video that we could add sheets to our worksheet here, our Excel workbook. And all this that we just did in the last video was on sheet 1. This time I'm going to go to sheet 2. Remember I said we could put totally different information on the different sheets. And I'm going to go over here to sheet 2. I'm going to zoom in on this so we can make this a little easier to see. We're going to talk about how to enter data into this worksheet. I'm on sheet 2 here. So I have my mouse on cell A1 right here. And I've clicked. You notice it's got a bolder rectangle outline for this cell. And in this cell, I'm going to name I'm going to put the word students. Okay? And then I'm going to come down. I'm going to press my enter key. That brings my highlight down to cell A2. And I'm going to start typing some names. Now, I know you're probably anxiously waiting to see if I'm going to type your name. But remember, our videos are kind of public, and I don't want your names out there. So I am making some John random names. Yes, isn't that just so thrilling? Mary random, Jack random, Bob random. These are all random names. Now you'll notice something kind of interesting going on as I type these random names. It looks like the names have spilled over into two cells, both cell A2 and B2. But really it didn't. It looks like it did, but it really didn't, because the name is simply in row 2, column A. It's not literally in column B. It looks like it is, but trust me, it's not, because if I look right here, we call this the formula bar. And whatever I type into the cell, let's go down to cell A3, what I type appears here in the formula bar. So if I click on B2, the formula bar is blank. It's telling me I didn't type anything into this cell, even though it looks like the name spread over. So to kind of make things look a little neater, I'm going to take my mouse up here between A and B on this line, on this little line, and I'm going to press my left mouse button down on my mouse, and I'm going to drag over to the right, and that made column A a little bit bigger, made it wider. So now my names are fitting inside all of column A. And as we can clearly see, nothing, absolutely nothing is in column B. And that's kind of important, because when you're working in spreadsheets, you want to be able to type some different things in different columns, and you want to be able to see what it is you're typing. So I'm gonna make up a little grade book for my class. This is assignment 1. Notice it spilled over into column C, so I'm going to come over here and I'm going to make this column a little bit wider. And this is a test 1 and a quiz 1 and a project. Spelled right. Project 1. And I'm going to give each of my children some grades. John is doing very well in class. He's worked hard, he's studied every night, and he's getting some pretty good grades. Mary, she's studying hard too, but she struggles sometimes. You know, sometimes that happens. We work real hard and real hard. We try the best we can, and we get results kind of like that. Jack, he goes home and he plays Nintendo or Grand Auto Theft, and his grades just aren't looking all that great. Ooh, he needs to let go of the video games. Bob gets home. He goes to work in the afternoons, right after school, and then he comes home and he studies, and he's doing pretty good. pretty good with his grades. Okay, so we got a mix of students here. We got a mix of grades. And you notice as I was typing that what I typed here also appeared here in the formula bar. So we can tell exactly what was typed inside each cell. And that's important because later on we're going to be telling this program how to figure out the average of these grades, how to do math. I don't need a calculator. If I see you out with a calculator while we're doing our little Microsoft Excel projects, I will deduct points. So please leave the calculators alone. All right. So what I'm going to do now is we're going to kind of pause the video and you're going to see an assignment. Now, the assignment that I'm going to give to you is going to ask you to remember certain skills that we learned back in Microsoft Word. Now, I'm going to remind you here. Here's a little helpful hint. We learned about font style. We learned about font size. We learned about bold, italics, underline, and we learned about alignment, left, center, and right. And I'm going to give a quick demonstration of this. We changed font style. Get some kind of neat looking. There we go. And we changed font size. We made things bold, although it didn't look like it got any darker. That was kind of dark already. Let me turn that off. Made things italics. We made things underlined. And we also played with the alignment. There's left, center, and right. Okay, so go to my website and look for your assignment. And remember, we talked about column adjustment so we could see what was typed. We've talked a little bit about how to type in and change the font size and style and accents for our cells. And if you want to change your font style for everything all at once, instead of having to click change every time you do a different cell, start up at the top left hand and highlight all the way down to the last bit of information and then make changes. It's a little bit easier doing it that way. All right, good luck. Submit your work when you're done, and I will be watching and giving some help as you go along.